The biosphere is the region of Earth that encompasses all living things. It exists on the crust of the Earth up into the lower atmosphere. The biosphere extends up to 10 kilometers into the air and to the deepest region of our oceans. Many things can have an impact on our biosphere, some of which are natural disasters. Today we are looking at how volcanoes, tsunamis, earthquakes, floods and bushfires all affect our biosphere.
Floods. Flooding occurs most commonly from heavy rain when natural water courses such as rivers or streams do not have the capacity to hold large amounts of excess water. They can result from other phenomena, particularly in coastal areas. Overflow can be caused by tropical cyclones, a tsunami or a high tide with higher than normal river levels. Dam failure triggered by, for example, an earthquake will result in flooding of a downstream area, even in dry weather conditions. Floods have many negative effects. For example, cause raw sewage to spill out into bodies of water which can contaminate and poison the environment. Plants and humans can drown during a flood. They can also lead to erosion and landslides. Floods can also destroy man-made structures such as buildings and bridges. Although floods have negative effects, they can also have positive effects on the environment, such as floods can provide water to land in drought, which would usually not be well watered. In a small flood, nutrient-rich soil can be distributed across the area affected. Earthquakes. Earthquakes occur from movement deep in the Earth's crust, often resulting in faults. Faults are when underground rock suddenly breaks along these faults. The sudden release of energy it produces causes seismic waves that make the ground shake. Also, when two blocks of rock or two plates are rubbing against each other, they stick a little. Earthquakes are measured on a Richter scale that ranges from 0 to greater than 9, with 0 being the lowest magnitude. The higher the magnitude, the more damage the earthquake causes. Earthquakes have many negative effects. These include landslides, tsunamis, and the liquefying of soil. There can also be damage of what's around us, such as collapsing buildings, bridges, walls, falling furniture or objects, or shattering from falling debris. Earthquakes can also injure or kill people. Although earthquakes have negative effects, they can also have positive effects on the environment. These include, earthquakes are very useful to people because they show us what's going on underground. This can make oil and gas extraction more efficient and allows scientists to monitor the progress of water during geothermal energy extraction. They also show you what is happening in the structure of the Earth, for example magma chambers, and it allows scientists to monitor volcanoes and the threat of eruptions. Volcanoes. As a tectonic plate slides into the mantle, the hotter layer beneath the Earth's crust heats up and releases fluids trapped in the plate. These fluids, such as seawater and carbon dioxide, rise into the upper plate and can partially melt the overlying crust. This forms magma. Volcanoes have many negative effects. For example, plants, animals and livestock in the vicinity are wiped out. If enough ash, it may speed up global warming or cooling that can destroy plant species and other species. Although volcanoes have negative effects, they can also have positive effects on the environment. These include volcano ash and pumice, an igneous rock that forms during explosive volcano eruptions, is full of rich nutrients which is beneficial for flora. Landscapes can be reshaped after a volcano eruption. Bushfires. A bushfire, also known as a wildfire, is a fire, and it spreads and burns across vegetated regions of bushland, which is grass, bush or woodland. Bushfires can be caused by natural means, such as lightning strikes, or by human influence that are by accident or deliberately. A bushfire can range out of control, or it can be quickly controlled, depending on weather conditions, such as strong winds in summer or sudden wind direction changes. These weather conditions have a direct influence on the occurrence of bushfires in Australia. The four main factors of these weather conditions that lead to bushfires are humidity, lack of rainfall, wind and temperature. Bushfires have many negative effects. For example, bushfires are a major source of greenhouse gases, which trap and heat in the atmosphere and warm the Earth's surface. Bushfires can threaten life, property and the environment. Bushfires burn out plants and can kill or burn the homes of animals. Although bushfires have negative effects, they can also have positive effects on the environment, which include The fire generates regrowth and new life of flora. For example, in some eucalyptus species, fire is an essential part of the life cycle. Also for these species, fire splits open seed pods, allowing them to germinate. Without fire, these species are unable to reproduce. Fire also encourages the growth of new grassland plants. Tsunamis. When subduction zone earthquakes occur, the Earth's crust flexes and snaps like a freed spring. For earthquakes larger than a magnitude 7.5, this can cause a tsunami, a giant sea wave, by subtly moving the seafloor. However, not all subduction zone earthquakes will result in a tsunami. Also, some earthquakes trigger tsunamis by sparking underwater landslides. Tsunamis may strike in minutes for coastal areas near an earthquake, or hours later, after the waves travel across the sea. Tsunamis have many negative effects. They include tsunamis can induce landslides, which causes flooding, can drown, wipe out animal and plant species. It can spread deadly toxins and debris throughout the land and ocean. It can also result in a large loss of human life. It destroys man-made structures, for example, buildings. Although tsunamis have negative effects, they can also have positive effects on the environment. They include, they can spread soil and nutrients around, they fill lakes and reservoirs, reshape landscapes.